It's a lovely day.
A beautiful day. Come to realize that in life sometimes, even these people who go through negative stuff, as they're growing up, those people who don't receive a support system and see others receiving a support system, they get fired up.
Where you were brought up. Do you know, one thing I've come to realize is when we grow up, we are in a confined, we are still in a confined
Yes,
space.
because our parents most of the time want to protect us.
We're still protected. Our exposure is not that much.
In today's society, with the market being flooded so much, we forget to teach. I would call it a ladder. So as you start climbing those ladders, education is a very important ladder as you're growing up. But then again, we have to teach them the pros and cons. Yes.
And how the true society is out there.
So, yes, you might be anticipating for, and you are heading for something, but then again you don't get it. Then what?
Exposure. So
it opens up your mind.
If at any point you had a confined or a restrictive beginning, and then you feel like maybe you are not able to expand your wings vizuri, when you get out and get exposed, like Peggy said, and then you see those people flying, you also say, yeah, that's it.
Yes. Don't get into that pressure till when you get to 25, that's when you start to settle down.
No.
Actually, 25 is your peak and your prime. Let me tell you. That's when you have discovered yourself as a woman.
It's a lovely day.
A beautiful day.
A cool day for everyone.
An amazing day. That's how we begin today on Sisterhood Spectrum.
Oh, yes. Because at the end of the day, we have to create this good environment for ourselves. Like, we just have to find fun, happiness, peace, conducive environment for growth. Like, we just have to keep growing, going up. Ooh, 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 ooh. Yes.
And I am Mati Rua.
This is your lovely Kamuche and Mati.
Coming up from last week's episode where we talked about self-care.
Yeah.
This week we are going to be talking about creating a supportive environment for women.
A woman or for women.
Exactly.
Of course, it's now in this case creating a supportive environment for a woman. Who is this creating that environment? Is it you yourself? Is it your family?
I think this time we are delegating it to everyone within the community and society. Yes.
In this case, of course, for growth. Don't forget for growth. Yeah, a supportive environment for a woman for growth, to help her growth.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. Growth could be personal growth or career growth. Exactly. So, for example, we were having a discussion with Kamuche, and we were talking about how, as we were growing up as women and as girls within our homes and within our society, we received that support. If they saw us, we were talkative and we loved reading books, they kept on buying us books. And if you loved the camera too much, like for example, me, my first camera, I received it when I was in class 6, I think, because my mom saw that I loved being on camera and I loved photography so much. So that's the first time I received my first camera. So, and then with books, they were easily available for me to read. I was interested in, but sometimes, you know, the funny part is, when I was growing up, I used to record parliament sittings and politics with video cassettes. Those big ones.
Allah?
Yes, and sometimes even my parents used to record them for me and then I come and watch them. So there was that balance between, they couldn't tell whether I wanted to become a journalist or
a photographer, filmmaker,
or I wanted to become a lawyer at the same time. But like when we were talking about careers, I said my first option was being a political analyst because I wanted to do political science. So there was that, but they kept on supporting me. Every step I took, they kept on supporting me, and every change I made, because you know, as we are kids, we grow up, we make some changes in life. Today you say you want to become so and so, tomorrow you say you want to become, but for me that was a long stretch, but they supported me towards all that long stretch. And that's why at the end of the day, when I said, my final step is I want to do journalism and I want to do mass communication. They supported me through that.
It was easy.
Yes, by taking me
so
through school. So, and for you are telling us it's the same thing.
Yeah.
People supported you.
Exactly. People support. In this case, we are looking at a situation where you look at yourself where you are today. Of course, you have all the memory of how your life has been since the day you started knowing yourself. Kuna ile miaka wanasema nilikuwa sijijui. You were being told, "Wow, ulikuwa unakula sukari nyingi sana." Nilikuwa sijijui. Kwa ujielewi. But from the point that you knew who you are, you knew that okay, so huyu ni Kamuche and I'm growing. Okay. From that point, of course, there are some things that you started doing. You know, there are some the whole interest that you started having in some issues and all that. And the society that you're growing in now, there are diverse issues or dynamics in this particular aspect. Whether you grew in a society with a nuclear family, could be with your mom and dad present, could be just with your mom, could be you are brought up by an extended family. That this means
could be you're brought up by your father. Sometimes nowadays we have even single families,
exactly,
just fathers.
Exactly. So in this case, we're looking at much as we're saying the society, but the society starts from your family, your mother, your sisters, sprouting out all the way until the society. So in this case, we are talking about that environment that molded us. Do you feel that where you are today, you give credit to the society that you grew in? In this society, we mean maybe if it's your father brought you up, your mother, or both your mother and father, extended family, or even the community.
Sometimes, some people were brought up by their grandparents.
Yes,
yes.
And there are also these situations. I don't know how. Okay, people live in different setups and settings, but for us, we live in a big village. It's a big village of so many people, and you could be hungry. And perhaps you don't even have to eat at your home. You could have gone to your cousin, munapiga mastori, then chakula kinasema there's lunch, and you just eat from there. So in that situation, why I'm bringing up that that situation is, there could be, let's say, an orphan in that particular village, doesn't have a father, doesn't have a mother. But because of the setup that we have, because of the setting, this person grows up in a society. For some reason, this person will eat, this kid will eat, they will go to school. During Christmas, they will get new clothes, they will wear, because alilelewa na jamii. It's just the community that brought them up. They didn't have a parent, but the extended family and that community that lived within ilimsaidia.
Exactly.
Then, after that, anatoka. Even you, after your nuclear family or your mom, dad, and extended family, then the community you're living in, then the society, at the end of the day, you came to the society. The society is a totally different space from how your community is, from how your extended family is, from your how your
I've come to realize, here's the thing I've come to realize. You might have a safe space at home, but if you don't have a safe space within your community and society, society and the community can break a person who has received a
good supportive system from the roots, yeah?
Because here's the thing, for example, yes, you have had a good support system at home and all that, but then you come out and realize, oh my God, things are not as I was taught. Things are not as I anticipated from how I was brought up. And then all of a sudden you realize it's so hard, and then you start shutting down. It's the same like with, I'll give a very good example. As we're growing up, as we go to school, we are told education is key.
Yeah.
Get a good education, you will get a good job. But then again, in today's society, with the market being flooded so much, we forget to teach our younger ones that yes, you might go to school. Yes, education is key. It is one of the first. It's school. I would call it a ladder. So as you start climbing those ladders, education is a very important ladder as you're growing up. But then again, we have to teach them the pros and cons. Yes,
and how the true society is out there.
So, yes, you might be anticipating for, and you are heading for something, but then again you don't get it. Then what? Boom. That's when you start shutting down.
Because you're not prepared for that, and the society has created a totally different environment.
Yes.
You thought that it will be a supportive society for growth.
Then it becomes different. You go to so many job interviews, still failure. You try so much, and that's why normally nowadays we tell each other that we're supposed to teach each other within the society that it's not all about employment. Sometimes you can start something and it can flourish.
And good thing is that we have so many organizations that
Exactly.
support the startups.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. So it's not about career-wise. It's also about personal life. There are those who get married at 20. They're not 20. Oh, don't get married at 20. Explore. Your 20s are your moments to explore. For example, I dated earlier on, but I got married at 29. So your 20s, this is what I'll tell, because all the girls who are younger than me are like my younger sisters.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'll tell you, your 20s, explore. Don't get into that pressure till when you get to 25, that's when you start to settle down. No. Actually, 25 is your peak and your prime. Let me tell you. That's when you prime. That's when you have discovered yourself as a woman. Because here's the thing. When we are teenagers, we're just
naivety.
And then now when you get to your 20s, you are starting to discover yourself. That's when either you're in campus or you're in college. And for those who didn't make it to college or campus, probably you have started working.
Yeah.
But that's when you start discovering yourself. You're 20, 21, 20. But now when you get to 25, let me tell you, when I talk about my life, I say when I was 25, that was the best year of my life. So 25, it's your prime. You have discovered yourself. Now have fun. Don't rush it. Yes, if you think you're ready to settle, that's fine. But don't ever rush it. Those people who
don't feel like you're under the pressure of settling down at that age.
At that
society
age,
no. Nikifika this age, I need to have settled down.
Exactly. So yes, I know society is supposed to, by this time and age, society is supposed to create that safe environment whereby it tells women that you don't have to get married by 25. You're fine, you're safe. But now, there's that aspect that we have to discuss, that people have to be able to accept that by 25, not necessarily I don't have to get married by 25.
Yeah.
And there's that aspect whereby when I get married, I have to have children immediately. Women are different. How about we create a safe space? There are those who get married and have children immediately. And there are those who have to wait years. And there are those who don't get children. Can't we create a safe environment whereby these women feel safe? They are our sisters, they are our mothers. So these environments could be personal, could be career-wise. It could be, like what I've just said, it could be maternal, safe spaces. But yes, if you keep on pounding that, it is a must for a woman to have children. It is a must for when you get married immediately for you to have children. But what if it's not this woman's?
What we are trying to explore is, do you feel where you are today, the society, the environment, you have had a supportive environment?
Yes.
The support system has actually added to where you are, or contributed to where you are today. In this case, did you have a supportive system from when you were young, when you came out of your family, you met other people? Do you feel that the society, if you are a businesswoman or a businessman now, do you feel that you are where you are because you got the support system that you needed from when you were young? The environment was supportive to you. Or do you feel you lacked something at some point? That's where you are. Do you feel like you could have done better if you had gotten a good environment, a supportive environment to make you who you are today? Maybe you could just talk to us and let us understand whether you have had a supportive environment. In this case, we want to know whether you feel that your wings could have flew further, faster and also further, or you feel like you are sort of.
And I've come to realize that in life sometimes, even these people who go through negative stuff, as they're growing up, those people who don't receive a support system and see others receiving a support system, they get fired up.
That is the way to go.
Yes.
Get fired up. That reminds me of where you were brought up. Do you know, one thing I've come to realize is when we grow up, we are in a confined, we are still in a confined
space. Because our parents most of the time want to protect us.
We're still protected. Our exposure is not that much. But once you grow up, ukianza kwenda high school, unaanza, you know, when you go to high school, especially even when it's not boarding, when it's day school, but you will meet so many people, different, and at that time you usually at teen, so only teen, so you start saying, oh, there's this person, there's this person, there's this person. You might even come back home and ask your parent, by then, mom, ati watu wanakuaga hivi sometime, because you've seen it, the exposure is coming, slowly getting into you. Then you after high school, you go to college, as as Mati said, you go to college, so exposure. So
it opens up
if
your mind.
At any point you had a confined or a restrictive beginning, and then you feel like maybe you are not able to expand your wings vizuri, when you get out and get exposed, like Peggy said, and then you see those people flying, you also say, yeah, that's it.
Yes. Then
I will try and get it, which is also one of the best things that we can
like
ever do.
I was telling a nephew of mine, because he was going to Form 1. So this is what I was telling him. You know, when you go to Form 1, and especially boarding, you see different kinds of people.
Yeah.
And mind you, that's where you learn about different cultures, about different
people, even characters. Yeah.
So you learn each and every one, and you know, this is how the world works. Because let me tell you, mind you, when you go to high school, that's when you interact with people from rich backgrounds, people from poor backgrounds, Muslims, Christians, different from religious, even Indians. That's why you realize, oh, these people do this, these people do this, these people do this. So by the time you go to campus, your mind has opened up, and by the time you're going to start working, you have interacted and seen these people. And you have known how these people live, and you have a sense of direction of, oh, now I know what I want to do. This is the direction I want to go towards. Yes, but unlike if you're not that exposed too much, and if we do not create that, you know, safe spaces could be also exposure. We expose, because, okay, for me, apart from watching TV, I think I was exposed because I went to boarding school.
Yeah.
And I saw the things that I went to. But even through boarding school, for me, I felt, you know, sometimes you might go and then you feel so frustrated and so confined because of the people that are surrounding you. But why is it that I felt sometimes so constrained and so frustrated? It's because of the people that were surrounding me. Sometimes used to throw negative words towards me.
Okay.
But how did that happen? That I was like, you remember we were saying our parents protect us and put us in a cocoon. So for me, I grew up in that environment where my parents supported me, they put me in that scenario, which was good for me during that time.
They were trying to lead you into... Okay, I think they had already maybe identified what you want to do.
Which is a good thing. But here's the thing. We forget that, yes, we're getting that support system, but others are not getting that support system. So when you go to high school, sometimes you end up interacting with people who have negative thoughts, negative words. So the people, once they see, because me, the first thing I did when I entered school, they say, "Ai, huyu amekuja mzungu," because I was from St. Augustine's, which is a private school. So that's the first word they started saying. Then they started saying, "Oh, kona maringo, oh, sijui kona nini," but it's not that nikona maringo or anything.
You already know yourself. For some, you already know who you are.
Exactly.
You already know, and then your parents have also given you that confidence. You know.
Exactly. So I am confident. So I walk with that confidence, which is what we are supposed to give all women. So I'm working with a certain aura and a certain confidence. So people saying, "Una madarau," even from before talking to you, because there's one of my friends told me, normally for me, if someone hasn't interacted with me, they will say, I am proud na niko na maringo because of the way I carry myself. But it's because I was given enough to give me confidence. So this is what we are supposed to do. Yes,
exactly. That's
so this is what so this is what we are supposed to do for all women, so that some other women will not feel like as if they are little to another woman, so that they feel that either I am too small for that woman, so either I have to treat her badly for her to get to my level, or I have to just look at her in a way that I cannot interact with her because she's this way and this way.
And then there's also that thing about when we talk about creating that supportive environment, especially for, you never know what background maybe your friend or your colleague at work comes from.
Exactly.
So you will not want to create a toxic environment to continue suppressing their their, you know, them as much as their growth, as much as they want to grow, but then the environment is not so supportive in a way that they are suppressed in terms of their growth.
Exactly.
Because once someone is out of a different place, comes to a different, this is a totally the society is different in terms of who we interact with and what we do. So if someone comes from a different place and maybe they were sort of suppressed there, then they come to this place and then the environment is still the same, this person never grows.
Exactly.
And it can even get back to the mental torture that people are going through.
Exactly.
Yeah? Yeah. But if we have this supportive environment, imagine so many people will just grow.
So yes, we have to realize,
yes, and you know,
even as we've been raised in supportive environment, you realize that some people are not raised in supportive environment. So we try and understand and also help build them. Yes.
For me, I'm grateful to God because I was brought up in a very supportive family. When I was growing up, I used to like reading. I remember we had this talk, I think the first episode or the second episode.
Yes.
And I could see my dad. My dad used to bring so many novels. Then there was this, whenever he came from, okay, we used to stay in Mombasa, then my dad used to work in Nairobi. So anytime he came back from Nairobi, when he visited Mombasa, he would bring all these, the novels, so they'll be in the house. I would read. Then he would also bring us the movies for us to be able to watch, understand what is happening out there. Exactly. So if it's about exposure, much as I was in Mombasa, and you know, this brings me. There's a topic that it's a topic that Mati is proposing that we do, the cultural, you know, beliefs and all that and attachments. When I came to Nairobi, you know, and I could speak good English and I could, you know, present and I was confident. You know, people were like, "Ati umetoka Mombasa? Kwani watu wa Mombasa wanasoma, watu wa Coast wanasoma mpaka kufika university?" So to me, I looked at them. I was like, "Kwani mnafikiri umetoka?" Because my upbringing was so exposed. I wasn't brought up in a way that ati wagiriama hawasomi ama wakosta hawasomi. No. I was brought up in a way that, you know, the world is free, go fly. So when someone was asking me ati mama ati umetoka kwa school nafika, me I was like, kwani kuna wenye kwani unafikiria, you know.
Me, I was asked that question I was asked, but not by a Kenyan. I was when I went to work outside the country, I was asked by a person, which part of Africa are you from? Because we cannot place your accent.
Okay.
You see, there's a way West Africans talk. There's a way
East Africans that is
somehow talk. Yeah. And there's a way even South
Africans yes
talk.
Yeah.
But they couldn't place my accent, so they asked me, which part of Africa are you from? Or did you go? Or this is what they told me. Do you come from a well-off family? Are you the daughter of a minister or an ambassador? I'm like, I wish. So then I asked them why. They told me, we cannot place your English. I just told them I went to a good school. I had a good foundation. That's it.
Yeah.
But even in primary school, like you're saying in school, even in primary school, I used to have those fights because you remember we used to have this bond that used to go around when you were younger in school.
Yes.
If you speak in Swahili, you get that bond.
That bond, exactly.
They used to want to give me Kiswahili speaking bond.
I'll tell you when I remember.
Yes, but now I never used to get the bond. So they used to want to give me the bond during Swahili time when you're supposed to be speaking in Swahili. During Swahili class. And I continue speaking in English. They used to want to give me that bond. They used to tell me, "Sunajitia wezi ongea Kiswahili wewe."
Mbona saizi ongea? Shika basi.
No, they used to give me that bond during that time.
Swahili lessons.
So it used to happen. And even when I grew up, even while doing interviews for jobs, especially, you know, for the jobs that we're in, automatically when people hear you're from the coast, they wonder why you're not interviewing a Swahili news anchor job.
Yeah, because even me, one thing, sorry to cut you short, but you reminded me of why were you interviewing for Swahili and not English. When I came to KBC, there's okay, let me not say who it was, but there's a colleague who, when I had not started anchoring and I was doing my stories in English and in Swahili, so she got wind that Kamuche will be also joining the anchoring team, blah blah blah. So she didn't know I was whether going to join in Swahili or English. So I think there's a time The time I debuted, and it was in Swahili. So she was like, oh, I saw you debuted for your anchoring, blah, 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 and you are good. But I thought you were also going to do English. Actually, I thought you will do English. You know, because you're also good in English. Actually, I thought you will do it. I was like, oh no. I think I'm comfortable in Swahili.
Yes. Yeah. So it depends. Like we normally say it's a balance, and it's because of how we were raised.
Yeah.
We were given that confidence, enough confidence.
So, basically, our topic, why we are bringing up this topic, Mati, you realize is that in case, one question we're asking is, do you think the environment you grew in, was it supportive enough to take you to where you are today? Do you feel that if you could have gotten a supportive environment, you would be farther than where you are today? And again, start, if we have not been having this supportive environment, then pick it now. Let's be creating this supportive environment
for each and everyone.
So that if kama sisi tulikosa kama iliharibika huko chini, then the upcoming generation will have it.
And if you didn't receive that supportive system and you were fired up enough to be able to get
out of that
exactly. How did you do it?
How did you do it?
Yes. How did you do it? Because as much as we have people who have received the support system, there's some people who are not receiving it even up till now. So if you're one of those who maybe did not get the supportive system, and just like Mati said, if you manage to get out of it, and you know, get your space, hold of your space, and you know, grow. How did you do it? Maybe you could share with us, so that whoever is watching this episode and maybe they're in that situation and they would like to come out of it, they will be able to find something. Exactly. So post within our comments, people will be able to see it and will be able to reply.
We can also read it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you tell us how you did it. Or for those who receive support system, do you think it was of help to you, or do you think, you know, some people receive support system and they get spoiled, kabisa?
Yeah.
Or did it spoil you? So you tell us that, because there's a balance, so that we can have that balance and see how far a support system is also supposed to go.
All right.
Yes. So tell us about that, so that we can be able to help each other grow
and achieve our potential, our dreams,
our full potential. So, Kamuche, is that it, basically?
Yeah.
It was an amazing topic, and we'd like to talk more about it, but that's it for today on Sisterhood Spectrum. I've been Mati Rua.
And this is Kamuche Menza.
She's decided to sing. It's a musical now.
Yes, I love my name. And then, you know, some people say, Kamuche Menza doesn't sound Kenyan.
Now for me, the people all the time when they hear my name, and then they keep on asking me, are you related to Mwalimu Mati? You know Mwalimu Mati, the name. I tell them no. I am from the coast. Though largely known, the Mati name in Kenya, you know, it's a Bantu name. So a lot of Merus also have Mati, but it's their surname. Unlike me, it's my maiden name. It's my name.
Feminine name.
Yes. So even in this, I used to see people in their names. Mine was in the middle. Theirs was in the end, and it was Mati. But hey, I'm Mati Rua, and I'm from the coast, the ocean.
The blue waters.
And the coconut trees. I enjoy that.
And the best environment and cool, calm, relaxing.
And nowadays when we go home we sweat a lot. But we still love our home.
It has been a pleasure
Talking to you today. Till next time.
Bye-bye.